I'm calling this meeting to order then. So I guess we start with our approving our meeting minutes from last time.
Yeah, and I apologize, everybody. Obviously, I just sent out a bunch of stuff very last minute. I couldn't remember if I sent out those minutes before. I don't think I did. If you had a chance to look at least last meeting's minutes, that'd be great. And then if you want to vote on all of them, awesome. But we can hold off until January and voting on the rest of them.
Unless somebody read them really thoroughly. I feel like I scanned it, which isn't really doing it good justice. I make a motion to hold off until January.
So we're gonna make a motion to approve last week's though, right? Or last month's?
Did you get to look through them closely?
I mean, last month's. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
there wasn't anything.
And nothing seemed weird. Well, then I trust. I don't think it's that everyone needs to study the meetings from last time. So that's honestly good enough for me. If we do want to approve the meetings from last time, from the most recent meeting in November.
It was November 20th was the last meeting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said that right.
So somebody just needs to make a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve the meetings from November's meeting. The
Second.
meeting. That's saying that
Minutes,
right.
yeah. there
The
you go.
meeting minutes from the November meeting. That's a good tongue twister. Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion is approved. The
All in
meeting
favor?
Now we
is-
gotta vote.
All in favor. Thank you, Michael.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
The motion is approved.
Pass, okay. And the planner's report, like I said, in my email, I couldn't get to updating everything, but honestly, everything from the last report, I'm still actively working on a lot of that stuff. So there's just not a lot of updates to it. Let me see, there was one thing that I wanted to mention. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Oh, the TIP project, 75% design plans, been really trying very hard to schedule that meeting with DOT. We had originally scheduled it, I forget when, it was sometime at the end of last month, and then for whatever reason, DOT didn't want to go through with it. So it got pulled, but either way, they are tentatively scheduling for February 4th, which is a
wow.
Wednesday. So that's tentative right now. They still haven't confirmed it with me, but trying to get that off the ground. And then grants, we secured 63. Oh, did I write 63 or 60? I forget if it was 63 or 67. $63,000 for the Mass Housing Choice grant to do the bylaw work, which is relative to the another part of my report, which is the CMRPC zoning diagnostic. So we had partnered with our friends over Central Mass Regional Planning to look through the bylaw and find problems, right? Look for contradictions, look for things that aren't clear, look at things that require too much interpretation, things that are just a challenge to read and to apply appropriately. And so to list those things out, that memo is in the meeting materials, that a link that I sent. I don't expect you to have read that, nor do I expect you to have read the entirety of the zoning bylaw. That is just with comments from both the CMRPC and myself, just highlighting things as we saw it, as we read through it. But I encourage you, if you are interested, to read through it. But so that work is done. They've read through the bylaw and made their comments. The next step is that grant that I got, which is then to take those comments and do something with them, fix those parts of the bylaw, that sort of thing. Craig had emailed me asking if there's any risk to the historic districts with any of that work. My answer to that is no. There's a lot of the comments are not sourced in the districts that touch the historic district. And plus, it's been my directive under this change to not take any huge policy swings. I just want them to go through it and recommend fixes to things that if there was an intent for something to happen under a bylaw, but it's not clear in how it's written, fix that. Don't make a new bylaw expressing new policies. I want that to be sourced in a much more rigorous process than what this is. So, and that's all I have for my report.
Okay. Can I make a motion to approve the planner's report? But you wrote no action, right, Michael? So I
It's,
don't
it's
even need
fine.
to
You
say
don't
that.
have to take any action.
Okay. And moving on to the focus projects for, we need to update it. It says fiscal year 24.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's a.
On that one. So
Oh,
the
I
infrastructure analysis.
think you established a lot of these in fiscal year 24, so that's probably why that stayed.
Maybe you
what-
just
I mean-
take off the year and then it's like never going to be out of date. It's just the EDC
Fair.
focus projects.
So the first thing you have is a presentation by Stantec.
Yep.
On the infrastructure. So we have Doug Fox and something's beeping at me in the room. So through the chair, through Julie, Doug, if you want to.
The
away.
floor is yours to share.
Great. I'll share my screen. Can everybody see this?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Doug Fox with Stantec. Listening in is my colleague, Tony Mora. I'm here tonight to share the findings of our Upton Infrastructure Capacity Analysis Report. We've been working with personnel from the town of Upton, including Michael, and the Department of Public Works to compile this information into a report format. Feel free to interrupt me as I go through these slides. All right. The objective of this report is to evaluate existing town infrastructure systems along the Route 140 or Main Street corridor. The intent is to estimate the capacities of the existing utilities and the ability of each system to support future development. Whether future development can be served by the existing infrastructure depends heavily on the type, size, and location of the project. However, this report is meant to be used as a general tool for the town of Upton and prospective developers when considering how future projects can be served within your town. Information about the existing conditions was obtained through coordination with town of Upton officials and private utility company personnel, as well as a review of publicly available desktop data and mapping. The intent of the research is to provide a high-level overview of the existing system capacities as a jumping-off point for developers. We recommend further in-field investigation to verify the condition and capacity of the infrastructure in specific areas of interest or for a specific type of development. So here were the utility systems that were analyzed as a part of this report. We have public water, sanitary sewer, three-phase electric, natural gas, and telecommunications. And again, the area of analysis that we focused on was the Route 140 corridor, which is referred to as West Main Street, or Milford Street, depending on the portion of corridor. Generally runs from west to east across the town of Upton and spans multiple zoning uses. So we'll start with water. The public water service in Upton is provided by the Water Division within the Department of Public Works. The water service main within the Route 140 corridor varies in size, as you can see with the legend here, and spans, it's bounded generally on the west by Old Grafton Road and bounded on the east by the intersection of Prospect Street. The town of Upton has a water master plan document that was prepared in 2011. That's probably the best and most recent analysis of the overall town water distribution system. Upton's water system across the whole town comprises approximately 30 miles of water mains, and the majority of the water main within Route 140 specifically was installed between 1996 and 2010, with some portions as old as the 1950s. The system uses 2 active groundwater supply sources. One is the Glen Avenue well right here, and the other is the West River Street well, which is further south, not shown on this slide. There are 2 water storage facilities that are utilized. The Pratt Hill water storage tank shown here, and the Pearl Street water storage tank located further east, also not shown. System storage is required as an emergency source to meet peak consumer demands, provide a firefighting reserve, or for system pressure regulation. There is limited recent quantitative data on the pressure of the water distribution system along the Route 140 corridor. However, as of 2011, according to the report and available fire hydrant flow testing results, a majority of the townwide water system achieved a sufficient water pressure for normal project applications, and an estimated 70% of the overall water system was considered to be in good to excellent condition. In my conversations with DPW, there are currently no known water distribution capacity issues within the Route 140 corridor specifically. As of November of this year, when I spoke to DPW, there is an active water main and sewer main extension project occurring within the Route 140 corridor, as you can see here. So the objective of that project is to extend the water and sewer main further east, southeast down Route 140, ending at 83 Milford Street. The size and the capacity of this water main extension was designed to accommodate new connections and future developments along this stretch of Milford Street. For any prospective future developments, new connections to the water main will require coordination with the town to confirm the system has sufficient capacity based on the location and the type of project. The applicant should expect to conduct in-field investigations, including fire hydrant flow tests to verify the water distribution system pressure. And we have certain options depending on the pressures that they find. Individual booster pumps are a good option for areas of low main pressure, and conversely, pressure reducing valves can be installed on the water main where pressure exceeds the recommended thresholds for these future projects. All right, sanitary sewer, another public utility within Route 140. The public sanitary sewer main is bounded by approximately Miriam Way to the west and ends at 9 Milford Street to the east. You can see the Route 140 corridor is highlighted faintly in yellow here. The green lines, the intermittent green lines, indicate the presence of a public sewer main within Route 140. So as you can see, there are stretches of Route 140 that are not served by public sewer, in which case the properties along here are served by private septic systems. The town of Upton operates on a separated sewer and stormwater system, and wastewater effluent from the public sewer is routed to a wastewater treatment plant facility located at 43 Maple Ave. As mentioned on the previous slide, there is active construction to extend both the sanitary sewer and the water mains further east down Route 140. A new sewer pump station is also proposed to accommodate this sanitary sewer main extension, but construction of this facility has not yet begun. For areas that are not served by the public sewer main, a proposed project or development would need to extend the sanitary main within the public right-of-way to accommodate their new connection. This would require coordination with the town to confirm capacity of the nearby pump station facility and to confirm that the wastewater treatment plant has the capacity to accommodate the increased demand as well. But according to DPW, there are no known capacity issues at the wastewater treatment plant or the multiple existing pump stations located around the town. Alternatively, if a site is not served by the public sewer and a main extension is not feasible or financially viable, a new project could utilize an on-site private septic system. The size and cost of the septic system would depend on the type of the project's demand, as well as the site soil conditions. A dedicated area on the subject property would need to be reserved for the installation and operation of the septic system and could be quite large for bigger developments or for a site that has unsuitable soil conditions. Electric utility is provided by a private utility provider, National Grid. The entirety of the Route 140 corridor, which is generally traced here, is highlighted in red, which indicates, according to their National Grid's GIS mapping, that it's operating at an approximate 75 to 100% capacity. So this means that a new development would require a request to National Grid for any new service. National Grid would require information about the specific location, the types of loads associated with the proposed project, and once those details are coordinated, they can share more information about the level of service that's available. For a load request associated with a larger proposed project, National Grid often requires a feeder study and potentially system upgrades to accommodate the project. There is usually a lead time associated with this to complete the feeder study, and again, would depend on the size of the load request and type of project. So it's recommended for any applicant to initiate coordination with National Grid early on in the project's design process, just to understand the lead times and cost impacts that might have.
Doug, do we know how often National Grid updates that information? I assume that was taken off of their mapping system that they publish.
Yeah, I was not able to find this information necessarily publicly, but a representative from National Grid was willing to pull this for me and share this information.
Oh, great. So, all right. Yeah, they have some sort of online portal that you actually, yeah, it is open publicly. You can access. They have a little mapping program like GIS that populates some of this information that I'm familiar with. So, but that's even better if you got it directly from them. Then that means this is likely the most up to date. So.
Yep. Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Or do you want me to wait till the end?
No, sure.
I just see all these light purple ones, and it looks like it say, I'm not sure, it's hard to read what it says. Is it HeartMax feeders one phase? What does that mean? That's how they get their electricity, but what does that mean?
So it says heat map feeders one phase. So it's a different type of electrical service.
Do you know the difference between one phase and three phase, Lori?
Okay. So a little bit. You want to elaborate? I wouldn't mind.
Phase is a heavier duty electricity, usually used in commercial applications. Houses don't need three phase, but there's certain equipment that has to run on three phase. Like in the restaurant, we had some equipment that we couldn't use because three phase wasn't available that far up 140. But it's a heavier feed basically.
Okay.
So that does have an impact then on business, because like you couldn't scale up your business in theory to the other equipment. That's
I mean, that would be more like the brewery as an example. You know, three phase equipment generally lasts longer. It operates at a lower voltage. But since there's three phase pretty much along 140, that for the purpose of this study, I'm assuming that's what there is area for increasing.
And did I understand that you said where it's red, it's 75% to 100% coverage? So, and the yellow where it's 65 to 75% coverage, is that they're saying of all the possible hookups that could be, it's that percentage? I mean, everybody's got electricity, right?
That's correct. According to National Grid, they're saying that their infrastructure along Route 140 is basically at capacity. When I talked to the representative from National Grid, I think I got the impression that this is probably a conservative estimate. There are always ways to upgrade the infrastructure or connect to the system, but this is kind of their gauge about how their system is currently operating.
Also, another interesting point about it would be, you couldn't really erect a solar field where there's only single phase.
Oh,
Three phase
right.
would have to be brought in because the loss of voltage over single phase doesn't pay to have a large solar field produce electricity. You wouldn't be able to transport that electricity back to the grid on single phase. You would need three phase.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
Yeah.
Great. Any other questions on electric?
No.
Okay. Next, we have natural gas, again, supplied by private utility provider Eversource. The town is generally served by Eversource's IP system, which stands for Intermediate Pressure System, and is delivered mostly through 2-inch plastic gas mains and services. Only portions of Upton as a whole are served by this natural gas main. And you can see the portion that is specifically served or specifically available within Route 140 is highlighted in green here. So that's bounded by the William Street intersection to the west, and again ends where a lot of these existing utilities do at 9 Milford Street to the east. And then in general, there's no gas service located east of Grove Street here. This is kind of the line for Upton.
So Doug, that
Where-
doesn't connect out to
Yeah, I was gonna say,
other towns?
where do they connect? Because obviously it's gotta be part of a bigger pipeline, I would think.
Yep. And when I coordinated with Eversource, they were able to provide me with further extents. So basically, the gas main will shoot off like a spider web on a lot of these different streets. I can share those extents.
Oh, so this is, I'm sorry, this is showing where it's active, where you can turn it on, where you can hook up to
Oh.
it, but not where the actual lines or all of the lines are, correct?
Correct. So if I were to draw the full coverage that Eversource provides within Upton, there would be like a spider web of these dark green lines. So they do provide coverage throughout a lot of the town, but within Route 140 specifically, these are the extents. And that can be added, the additional information that I have can be added to the report as well, if that's helpful information.
Yeah, it may be.
Okay.
Interesting. I think the next level, and it's maybe we don't do it in this leg of the project, but identifying steps on or responsibility to, if that gas line were to be, if the usable portion of the gas line were to be extended in some way, who can, obviously it's Eversource owns it, they're the ones that would extend it and do it, but how does that work? Are they the ones to initiate that? Can the town initiate that? Like those are questions I have, which I don't assume can be answered tonight.
Yeah. So if a gas main extension were required for a new development, Eversource would first conduct a comprehensive engineering and financial study. So again, similar to National Grid, requires some lead time there. The cost of the study is actually borne by Eversource, so they'll pay for that after the applicant provides the necessary information about the proposed building, the location, projected gas loads. And then the lead time would depend on the complexity, size of the project. And then depending on the results of the study, the cost for the system upgrades or potentially a main extension could either just be borne by the new development solely, or in some cases we've seen Eversource split the cost of that in some way with the developer, because it's mutually beneficial for them as well to expand their service and provide additional gas.
So never the town. It never sounds like the town has to pay.
Correct.
What's the black line inside the insert that's highlighted, may I ask? So it shows 40 extending, but then there's a black line
Good question, and it might be. It
Because
might just be how the shade is of this red zoning area is interacting with the highlight. That's my
Because I
best guess.
Okay, because there was a time when they were repaving 140 toward West Upton, and I believe they had asked Eversource if they were going to continue putting in pipe because the project had been stalled when they had that big explosion, couple
Yeah.
explosions on the North Shore, and Eversource told them no, and they actually abandoned that chunk of pipeline. So I'm wondering if that's what that
Oh.
represents.
Like it's dead pipe, almost like dead, not
Yeah.
used or something. Huh.
Interesting. I'm not sure about that. This end of main location did come directly from Eversource, which leads me to believe that this portion is installed and functional.
Interesting. Okay.
Any
I
other
live in that
questions?
part of town. I live in that part of town and we certainly have gas here.
Okay. Are you on this side of the Main Street Road?
I
You're
would think-
you're above the black part, so it looks like it's feet off of it.
See the little Nelson Street up there to the left of it? That little street that goes
Oh,
around
yep.
in a curve, that's where I am.
Okay. Sure, that makes sense then.
Right, this goes right by the town hall, down at the
Mhm.
bottom of that little street there.
Interesting.
All right. Oh, the screen's frozen. Oh, there we go. And then lastly, we have telecommunications. I don't have a graphic for this one, but it appears that there are multiple providers available within the town of Upton. I was able to look up Spectrum, Verizon, T-Mobile, but it looks like there's a handful of others as well. I know based on personal experience, people often have strong opinions about what companies are best or provide the most reliable service or fastest internet. So I'm sure you probably all know better than I do. But I contacted Spectrum as I compiled this report just to understand their ability to provide telecom services to new businesses or residential properties. And Spectrum confirmed that their company does serve this area and they're capable of providing service speeds up to 1 gig. It's recommended for a new project to coordinate, again, their size and type of new development with the telecom provider and just understand which provider can best serve their needs, whether it's a certain type of business or residential property, et cetera.
Is it possible to get mapping that shows where things are for this category?
It's a little trickier to probably produce a map just because it's not similar to like a physical main within the street.
Yeah.
And it does depend too on the actual utility provider. So like Spectrum might have different coverage than T-Mobile, than Verizon. I could try to track down some kind of coverage map or graphic that these providers might have. But yeah, this one was a little trickier to come across.
If you could, that would be great.
Yeah, because I didn't even know. I thought we could only get Spectrum on. I know we're talking about the main part of town, but like we're on the fray of town, and we can only get Spectrum right here. So it
Okay.
is nice to like see what parts of town are covered. It's not a vital. It's a nice to have because I don't know how much that really affects development. Because it's clear that you can get telecommunications in town.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's also a difference between cable and phone service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my understanding is basically Spectrum is basically our cable provider. I mean, you can still get Verizon phone service and T-Mobile phone service.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm curious also because there's some understanding that Verizon is sort of an old technology used here for internet and that sort of thing, but they've laid some Verizon fiber, and it's not hooked up or useful yet, but it would be really nice to be able to see where all these things are.
Hmm.
So anything you could get on this would be great.
Sure, I can follow up on this.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah, it's really like the fiber part of it, to Russ's point, that in terms of like your phone working, yeah, I don't think that needs to be mapped out.
Right, right. All right. So that was a high-level overview of the utility systems in your town. Again, this is meant to be used as a general tool for anybody considering development in Upton. And then this here are just a few steps for developers to consider. Engage early. It's always recommended. Understanding what utility systems are in place at the project site. Conduct in-field investigations. This is mainly related to the water distribution system. Part of the early process for projects is conducting fire hydrant flow tests to get a sense of the system pressure and to make sure that's adequate to serve the proposed project. Identifying required upgrades to existing utility infrastructure. Is a main extension required? What are the cost impacts? And anticipating long lead times. To me, this is generally relevant to the private utility services such as electric and natural gas that would require an engineering or a financial study. And those tend to have some pretty long lead times to get a project going. And that's everything that I had. Any other questions or discussions?
I had a question about the water. I didn't want to interrupt you so soon in, but I just had a question. I know
Sure.
that we just have the one, I think, main water source, but we used to have, I don't know if I'm using the right terminology, but we had 2 wells, and then a few years ago we got a third one that I wasn't sure I heard reflected in what you said or where they are exactly. But I know we added another water source. 'Cause
Okay.
we had a moratorium on sewer hookups for a long time. I think we didn't have enough, I don't know what to support it. And then finally we got past that, and we just didn't have enough. I think it's wells, town wells.
Is that the
Okay.
Pearl Street location that you mentioned? It's just not shown on screen.
Right. So the 2 sources that I mentioned were the Glen Avenue well field, and then the West River Street, which is further south, located down here, but not shown.
I know there's a third one somewhere, so I don't know if that may take a little extra looking, but it was not that long ago that it was made, I have to say, within the last 10 years, maybe less.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of this data is based on an older report. So if it is that recent, that can make sense why this is not reflected. I'll confirm with DPW. There's no mention of it when I talk to them, but I can certainly confirm that and include that as well.
That would be great. And the only other thing I want to say is down here by the center of town, there's a water main that breaks all the time. Right, Mike? Very often it's closed off and there's water, and there's a water thing happening near the town hall, right? Or a little bit towards West Upton from there.
I don't know if the developers want to know that or not in this report, but
Right. Well, it would be something we need to strengthen. It's something that I don't know if they've ever done a wholesale fix of it. And of course, we also had that big leak over on the corner of on My Street, Nelson, and School Street a few years ago with all that water, and the road fell in.
geez.
That was just a year or 2 ago. So maybe those would be all good things to ask Dennis if you're talking with the DPW.
Sure.
Just if you go to the site, it is showing only 2 water sources. And I distinctly remember them talking about a third water source, but I'm thinking maybe we don't use it.
Yeah.
But if you, it's clearly outlined in several areas of the Upton, Mass, DPW, that there's only 2 water sources.
I know we did a third one.
Yeah, I
sounds
remember that
worth
too.
asking.
I remember
Yeah.
voting
Yeah.
on or something on that.
Yeah. So if it didn't get
I wonder what
recorded
happened to it.
somewhere, if we didn't get recorded somewhere, I'm sure a conversation will bring it out.
Yeah.
I
Because
can
maybe
ask
just
Bill
it's not
Keller.
updated
Yeah.
online for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that'll be good if this reveals the things we haven't got updated online, because that'll be good to catch up on too.
Sure, that'd be great.
Thank you.
Yep.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Douglas?
Just as a side note, red and green, when you overlay them, become brown or black.
That
Just
would
look that
explain
up
it
too.
then. Yeah.
So that's what was happening in the other image,
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
which was Douglas's first theory. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and
Yes.
the part where it is still green in between that maroon red is because for some reason when they drew the zoning, they left that stretch of road out, but they included the rest of the zone when they drew that zoning. So that's why. So you are correct. I think that's why it's appearing as black, but why it might not appear black right at that end point.
Gotcha. That was throwing me off. So that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it too, obviously. So here we go.
Yeah.
Maybe want to put a footnote or something or manipulate your image, because I'm sure somebody will ask that question again at some point.
Yep. I can
Bring it to
So-
the top, eliminate the opacity or whatever.
exactly.
Mike, going up to Governor's Landing, so we're putting in water and sewer. What's going to be their energy source up there?
What's going to be the energy source for Governor's Landing?
Yeah.
Electricity.
Okay, so going to be all electric?
Yeah, and the building code is requiring basically that all new building has to be electric. So there
Right.
won't be extensions of that green line, most likely, right? Unless that's for other things. So I don't know. That's a very reductive answer to your question, just because I don't know the ins and outs and the details of that. But that's my basic understanding, just based on the conversations I've had and the fact that I work closely with the building commissioner. New building. I should say I know that that's the case for single family homes, right? Which is like 90% of what we permit. Single family homes, new construction is required to be set up for electricity, right? They're set up to be able to connect to solar panels. We're requiring areas be designated for future charging stations and stuff like that. That's all new state
Mhm.
code stuff.
Mhm.
Can we take a look at the electricity map again and just see what it looks like is already there for Governor's Landing, if you don't mind?
Sure.
If we have a
Be
minute for
three
that?
phase, right?
Okay, I'm just trying to see if I can figure out where it is.
Yeah. Where is this? Just for my reference.
It's not far from the cursor. It's
Yeah.
now it is. There we go. It's
Around here.
yeah, it's a little bit south of that. It's actually if you look at the
Right there.
water
right.
map, the that part where you show the water sewer extension, it's at the end of
Mhm.
that. Yep,
Yeah.
there we go.
Okay.
So you can find it on the other one.
I was told there was a potential senior living development that
That's
was
it,
slated.
Governor's
Yeah.
Is that,
Landing,
that's
yes.
it. Okay.
55 plus.
That's
you
the
don't need
one.
to say senior.
Can we see if we can find that area on the electricity map?
Sure. So that would be probably around
Yep.
here.
So that's the area that empty area there.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, so they got electricity close, okay. But it looks
But
like
it's at
it's
capacity.
not, it's the single phase, so for this new development, they maybe
No, it's
want
three
something
phase.
stronger. It is,
That's three phase. The red,
because
the-
it's near enough to the red, okay, I'm seeing a little purples near
Mhm.
that, but I guess they'll put in red. Yeah, okay,
Yep, this would tie
Great.
into the red here.
Thank you. That's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So I thought that
Alright.
was great feedback. Thanks, everyone. So I'll work with Doug. And then I was saying to Doug just before the meeting started, I think it'd be appropriate to at the next meeting, when everybody's had more time to digest the information, to just take a formal vote to accept the report, deem it complete. That way I can close out the project.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess Douglas can carry on with his evening. Thank you for presenting this to us and good work.
Thank
Of
you.
course. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Doug.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Night.
All right. Next up, we get the public parking vision, Michael.
I just got that contract executed today, so I will have Allen Engineering working on that parking lot, which is the concept D.
Yep.
So he'll start working on that shortly, as soon as I get that contract over to him.
That's great.
I had a quick question about that. When I was looking at them earlier today and I looked at the 3 different designs and then D.
Mhm.
And so all of the other designs had in that space it looked like much more parking.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that what we're doing here is going to preclude us doing any of the ones that are in A or C or whatever we decide. They all had like 24 or 21 or 26, I think. And now it looks like 11 and 17, but I think that included the other parking lot that's already there. So I was confused by that. We're going to take a look at the email that you sent that had the 4 designs in it.
Yeah, let me bring it up.
Yeah, I was
Right.
trying to find it, but it didn't show up on my.
I'm
work.
sure it's a perfectly reasonable explanation. Maybe.
Well, I should say concept D is separate from your decisions between A, B, and C, because we are going forward with concept D as an immediate, or I should say a more immediate fix to that that parcel, right? Because concept D is just the parking. Concept D is taking that gravel parking that is on Grove Street and turning it into more formal parking and including
Yeah.
a small parklet that can connect to, hopefully maybe in the future, that pedestrian bridge that is not there yet, right? So
Yeah.
that's what concept D is, and that's what Allen Engineering is gonna hope bring to closer to a reality with actual engineering plans. The Upton Center vision poster board, which is the thing that we've gone through to recommend updates. Concepts A, B, and C are what the committee's being asked to choose from in order to provide into that poster.
Right.
So concept A, B, or C might take over concept D when and if those developments are ready to be done, right? So it's a matter of going forward now with something that is more tangible and more ready to go, which is just the parking and the parklet. And then in the future, the town will still own that parking. They'll still own that whole stretch of parking along Grove Street. You'll possibly still own Holy Angels. Who knows, maybe you'll even come in control of the other building in the meantime, but that also needs to be contended with. And, someone could come along and be interested in creating one of those other concepts, that A, B, or C, right? And just by establishing the parking, you haven't done anything to really get in the way of any future development, right? Parking is very easy to contend with as far as, developing a piece of land.
Right. I guess my brain says to me, if we're going to do C and we know what that parking lot is supposed to look like, why don't we just do that parking lot? But, I don't.
Yeah, I
Well,
was just wondering if that would waste taxpayer money. If we go with D, we spend money to get that design, and then later on we go with C, wipe out the old D. Is that wasting taxpayer money or?
I mean, if you choose to view it like that. right? I mean, you could also make the argument that the concept D is the thing that is available to you now,
Yeah.
or the most available to you now. And so creating formalized parking on that site and bringing in some sort of parklet energy to it to enhance the streetscape is a benefit to the community rather than leaving it as is.
Right, and it may
and
make somebody want to come along and do A or C. Okay.
yeah,
I
and
get
it's
that.
not as though
Yeah.
it's not as though you have anybody asking to do A or C right now, right?
Yeah.
So
Right,
we don't
right.
we don't have that option right now anyway.
Oh, so it might not come to fruition is what you're saying.
Correct. Yeah, it might
Yeah.
never happen. But
Okay.
but you are in the decision making process, you're saying if something were to happen, we would prefer this to happen. And that's either A or B or C. I forget which ones are which.
Gotcha. Okay,
And
cool. Thanks
if-
for the clarification.
And if D happens, and if it is within the confines of that gravel parking lot that we have there now, it looked like there would be 28 spaces, which would be as much as I think in any of the other designs that would be okay. I guess I was having trouble visualizing if it exceeds the boundaries of that and takes over the other parking lot that's already there, or if it
No,
doesn't.
it doesn't.
Okay, great. Okay, that's helpful.
All right, I think I got the. So I know I emailed everyone just clips of the plan, just so that you could have like easy reference to kind of jog your memory of it.
Yeah.
But let me bring it. Let me share my screen. And I believe so. This is C I have up right now.
Yes.
So the decision really, people expressed ARC, you were correctly describing it because those were the two preferences because they maintained the church, right? So it's a decision between having a building on Grove Street or not, right? Because Grove Street, if you put that building on Grove Street, you were either eliminating parking or creating a scenario where you would prefer to have maybe some underground or first level parking. But and then excuse me. That was A. A is with that building, and then C is without that with more parking.
Right.
Do we want to take a vote on A and C just to make it even more straightforward? Like, how many people are in favor of A?
Can we look at A again?
Yeah, hold on. I was just trying to find my email that because Marie had sent me her preference and I was forgetting what it was. I think she might have accidentally said D, which isn't helpful. Here it is. Okay. Here's C. Here's A.
Okay, so A has 25 parking spaces in this,
Mhm.
and that 11 is where the parking lot is now. That it
No.
already exists.
Sorry.
Well, it would
Or
be,
it looks behind the arcade building.
Yeah,
Right.
so that parking does not exist today.
yeah. The
Where you
big-
see that 4,500 square foot building,
Yeah.
this is where the parking is now.
Yeah.
The parking that exists.
Where the 4,500 square foot building is where the gravel parking lot is.
Yeah. And
Okay.
and some of
And
the
the town lot.
established the town lot.
So with C, you have 31 spots in that area versus the 25, if you're just looking at like that little part of it. So it's like, do you want to have more parking or do you want to have a building there is kind of what it boils down to.
Can you circle for me exactly where the paved parking lot is now?
I can approximate it. I mean, it's pretty
Well,
much.
just show the Plan D again.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a
yeah,
good
thank you.
point. I did put D in the chat too.
So
So
where it
those
says
11 spaces, yeah.
is the town
Those
parking.
11 spaces. So with this parking lot, with the gravel parking lot, because we're adding so much park, that is 17 spaces, where in every other design, it's a great deal more.
Yeah.
But that could be changed later if like we did go with C. It's not like the
Because-
parking lot, it's not a building that you had to tear
And
down.
Lori, Lori, the reason is
Okay,
because
I get it.
this, this is more of a holistic approach, which this isn't showing you boundary lines of property lines, right? But in concept D, we have to contend with property lines.
Reality.
Right, it puts
So
them
in
together and
concept
makes them more
C-
attractive and more appealing to developers for the other projects. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In concept
and it
C,
shows that we have a
says-
lot of parking downtown, which is what we
Yeah,
want to show.
which is
Yeah,
what we want. Yeah.
in concept C, it's assuming that we acquire the Thompson block.
Yeah, it's
Really,
well,
all of
it's
them.
it's
do that.
it's it maybe not that specifically, or it's at least envisioning a scenario where it's all working together. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
That's a good point.
Okay, yeah, so we don't have to necessarily own it.
maybe not
I mean, there's a lot of grading issues there. I mean.
for
and
sure.
Back
Mhm.
of those buildings are really ugly. So there's a lot of work that have to happen to actually make those parking spaces happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Beyond
Yeah.
even just pave, you can't just pave.
No.
There's a lot of grading there.
you know what I have a huge concern about? If we do that parking design of D, which is 8 parking spaces,
Mhm.
those are okay, so that's what we're gonna be achieving in the space we have now. How many parking spaces do you think people are making now there? They're
At least
parked over
40 to
there.
45.
Say
I
I've
know,
been there and
so I'm
counted.
saying we're losing a lot of we're losing some actual parking spaces down, like quite a few.
Yeah, a lot, actually.
I do
They
think
look
it helps.
nice, but where are people gonna park?
I don't know, are they always filled? I feel like it's for the long-term success of the area. It really would help to have like the defined spots and to show the charm of that area, to make someone want to invest in the arcade building area and dress it up. I just think it's like more for like the greater good to lose like 10 spots.
I mean, I agree that there's a value in having that undefined parking because you can squeeze more cars in there, right?
Right.
The value of the defined parking is dressing it up, making it look
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
The things that make it look like a downtown that make, right now we're lacking that cohesiveness.
right.
And I do think across the street, there's potential for more parking down the line too. It just seems underutilized as well.
You mean behind the Knowlton Ristine?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some talk about that.
well, that's helpful. Julie, how did you send the concept through the chat? Did you just copy
I
paste?
copied and pasted. Yeah, my screenshot.
That's like easier
It is.
because then you can click on it and look at it yourself.
Yeah, that's where I was like, oh, I'll put the other ones in too.
In the
Since
chat.
we're
you
all
sent it?
against B. We'll just stick with those two.
Oh yeah,
So
that's so much better.
where, yeah, it comes down to like, do you want more parking or do you want more business? I guess in your
And
ideal.
do you
'cause
want
this
it
is
to
really
look nice
just-
or do you want it to look
yeah.
like a gravel parking lot?
Well, it shouldn't. In theory, it's not just like a cruddy parking lot, but yeah, I don't know.
Or
I'm leaning
or
toward the
what
parking lot.
what Julie was saying, if I may, do you
Yeah.
want more parking or do you want a building on the street there? I mean, there are different ways you can view that. I mean, what I liked what BSC Group did for A is that there's a line of trees, which I'm sure would look nice and help dress up the streetscape. In my view, it's more of a, I guess it's more of a, what's the urbanist point of view, which is having those buildings on the road adds to the streetscape, adds to the perception of eyes on the street, which adds to the eyes on the street is this whole argument about, crime goes down when people are think they're being watched.
Mhm,
Not that you have
mhm.
not that you have a crime problem here, you don't, but it introduces community. It's a
Yeah.
shorthand way of saying that. So, but either options are nice. I'm not trying to push anybody either way, but I'm just trying to provide that context.
Even if you just give a thumbs up on the one that you like the most, that's like the quickest way to do it. If everybody knows how to do that, and vote that way too.
For some reason,
And
I
it's
can
not-
see your first image, but I can't see the second two you sent.
You can't,
Did you do it differently?
no, just copy and pasted my screenshots. And
The tur- the-
I can see
The
it.
top one's D, the second one is C, and the third one's A. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have your chat open?
Yeah,
No problem.
and I can blow them up and I
Everyone
can
else can see the
yeah.
other two?
Yeah. So at least Lori can.
I'll bring it up for you, Russ. I'll just share.
I can see it. I can see
That's
them
okay.
perfectly.
So the idea is we're gonna vote on something tonight, right?
Yeah. Because you want to wrap up this report with a firm. Basically, they need to imagine it slightly further, right? Isn't that the idea with either rendering and then it goes in the final
Yeah.
report?
I think I'll go with C because it has more parking. I don't know. I can't really see. It's a little too small to click it.
If you just like touch it, it should open up and like fill up your whole team.
Oh, okay. Is the last one C?
The bottom one is A and it's got
that's
the second building in it. So C is the one with this more parking and not a second building on Grove Street.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
Marie
so it's
told
the
me
middle.
concept D, so that's not that's not very helpful. That's
So it's 39 spaces versus
25.
36 spaces
Oh, is that what it was?
and a building.
Yeah, if you combine them all.
Okay.
and
I'm gonna
Gene
say
Gene did
C.
tell me A or C. He didn't care which one.
Oh, so he didn't he didn't narrow it down though. Because
I'm
this has
gonna
been our,
say-
we've all been like torn
Mhm.
on the two and non-committal for several months now.
I think I'm gonna say A because it's only 3 spaces and we could get a big building there that could be for businesses.
Yeah. They're gonna need more parking though too. That's the part that makes it hard.
Right, they're gonna take
The
up
re-
some of the parking that we're giving them.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, the reality is either one of these things could still happen. This is just like a suggestion.
Yeah. I'm okay with A or C, but I think if we could get a building and only lose 3 spaces, I could go for that.
So you vote, right now we got 1 for A and 2 for C. Pierre and Russ, what do you?
I'll vote for C.
I want to vote for C also.
All right,
The C it is?
C it is.
And Jean was either, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I
right.
guess we'll make a
Thank you
motion
very
to
much.
pass that along, Michael.
Yeah, if you want to make an official motion, that'd be great to recommend that.
I move to make a motion to recommend C for the report.
Second.
Okay, the motion is approved. And then West Upton Center Vision, is there anything to talk there? I don't think there is any updates.
No,
right?
we're in a, the next thing is in January. I want to say the 13th. Let me look.
Can I just mention one thing on concept C in the narrative in the upper left-hand corner, it says Holy Angels preserved, Thompson Block demolished. Is that 5,200 square foot building? Isn't that the Thompson Block?
It'd
or
be
is
a
that
new
some-
building.
In place of
Anything
it, I
great.
don't think any of those concepts envision Thompson Block staying.
Staying, okay. Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
Floor with 2 commercial spaces, second floor with 5 apartments, okay.
We last talked about the town mixer as me reaching out to Laura, and I'm gonna meet with her tentatively on Sunday to just get her advice on the best way to approach it, because we were kind of split. There's multiple ways you could do that type of gathering, where you can make it really low key and people can bring their families, but then you might not have the networking that you would hope to happen at that type of event. So I feel like she's got a really good perspective on it. I'm just interested in hearing what she has to say.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then is there anything else we wanted to talk about in terms of adding other projects?
I just want to mention real quick, the next visioning workshop is January 5th, which is a Monday.
Oh. Oh.
So kicking off immediately after the holidays.
Thank you.
I gotta change it
think
on the
we
website.
should-
It says 2025, but obviously it's supposed to say 2026.
I think we should be taking a big, long look at the master plan. And
Mhm.
I think we're at a inflection point in the development of this town, and there's a lot of attempts to do development. I think it's time to really look at it and decide what we want to do, because we haven't done it for 20 years.
Yeah. Michael, you had thoughts on that last time, like there would be a moment for you to look at it again.
Yeah, the
in
planning
a
board
month.
is making efforts to start updating it based on the information that we have. So it's going to be right now. The process is good to slow roll it. So take a look at. So much like with the plans and stuff that we looked at tonight, all that can and should be incorporated into the master plan. And then it's a matter of right now just taking these individual reports and putting them into the appropriate chapters. So you have like a 4 parks plan for recreation, right? You have some open space plans, I think, and things that have happened fairly recently. Those reports can basically get folded in and provided as the recreation chapter, recreation and open space chapter for the master plan. You have the 2019 Upton Center plan here for economic development. You have the updates to it, and then you will have the West Upton Center plan. All those, plus there was an economic development plan that also happened in 2019. Again, folded together becomes the economic development chapter. The outstanding things that I think will require more work and more and funding, most likely, is the like the transportation chapter and the land use chapter, Lori, which I think you're really getting to
Mhm.
with that. That's because that's the thing, and that was the reason why I didn't want CMRPC taking big policy swings in the zoning rewrite, is because I think that needs to really be teased out through the master plan to get at what the town would really like to see happen, and not outside of that process.
Thank you. I think that's great. Thank you. That's good.
Wonderful. I don't know if there's anything else there. Pierre, I think it just occurred to me, I think you're making your regular meeting notes, but last time we met, Michael did figure out a way to use Copilot along with his planning assistant to make the notes. Where like you don't have to take meeting notes anymore, right? Is that correct, Michael? I can say that.
Yeah,
Pierre.
Pierre, I thought you were up to date
You
on
might just
that.
be writing notes.
Yeah, no, I'm just taking notes for me to be able to
Ah,
keep
I do
track of
that.
what's going on. in the
I do
meeting.
that too. Yeah. I just like, oh no, is he like still having doing all that work? But I'm the same way. I just nice to take
Yeah, no,
notes
I
and
appreciate
extra
that.
cover.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think that's everything that we wanted to cover, other than setting the next meeting date. So I'm actually away for 10 days at the end of January in China for a work trip.
Nice.
So I don't know about if you guys can meet without me, obviously, but it's definitely going to cover a couple of those Thursdays that we would normally look at.
It's the 22nd or the 29th as of right now, if you're looking at the 2 last weeks in January.
Yeah. And I'm gone the 19th to the 29th, I think. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm fine with either.
I say we go
I'm fine with
29th
either.
and go to the last day and
go to the 29th and
I was going to
You know,
suggest the 29th
we're
as
meeting
well.
extra early this month. We're meeting, we met a week early this month, and we're meeting in January is a long month, so it'll be probably 6 weeks till we meet. Do we want to do that, or do we want to do the 22nd?
My
Any
preference would be the
preference?
29th, because I think it does give us a chance to get some more things done. It's going to be slow picking things up
Right.
after the holidays. I'm gone for a week and a half over the holidays, so.
We should think, because around that, when do they start like opening, closing the warrant for May?
I don't know, but soon, probably February.
January. So,
Mhm.
yeah, if it turns out that the timing's off and we have something that we have to do, I guess we could change our minds, but I'm good for the 29th too.
Okay, so we'll set it for the
29th 's
29th.
fine.
You know. Okay. Can I get a motion to close the meeting?
Motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
The meeting is adjourned.